particular family, you are directly or indirectly missing a lot, because this is where you get the up-to-date information and all the conventional methods of running your poultry and agri-business profitably. In today's live broadcast, I've come with very interesting topics in poultry management. You're highly welcome. I will start with the benefit of providing multivitamin, the benefit of providing multivitamin and minerals to poultry birds before vaccination. If you are vaccinating your poultry birds, you should understand that vaccine always cause a lot of stress for poultry birds. Therefore, you have to give them enough vitamins and minerals to enable them to withstand the stress of the vaccine. Now, why should we give vaccine to our poultry birds? And why do we need to give them multivitamin before vaccination? You vaccinate your birds to protect them and safeguard them from unwarranted attack from different diseases. Vaccines becomes a strong immunity against all these vaccines and all these infections. Number one reason why we should give the multivitamin is one, to boost their immunity, to boost the immunity of the poultry birds before vaccination. Vitamins and minerals provide the essential immunity for the poultry birds for them to withstand the stress of the vaccine. It helps to add immunity to strengthen their body, even their blood, to carry on the protective measure which the vaccine provides. Another one is enhance the response to the vaccine. These multivitamins give them enough strength to withstand, and it also helps to enhance the efficacy of the vaccine. It also minimizes stress. It protects them and guides them, give them enough metabolizable energy to withstand the vaccine. It supports growth. Multivitamins also support growth in poultry birds, in as much as it helps in guiding them, protecting them from unwarranted attack from infections and diseases. It also helps them to grow to their optimal level. Another one is resistance improvement. It helps them to improve the resistance to the infections or diseases. Multivitamins helps poultry birds and safeguard them, help them also to minimize and also to resist the diseases, because once they are well fortified with the vitamins and minerals, which are essential nutrients that helps to fight against infections and diseases in their body, these multivitamins, being there prior to the vaccination, also helps to fortify them. It optimizes reproductive health, most especially in parent stock and breeder stock. Once the multivitamin is given before the vaccination, it helps them to increase their reproductive stages. It also helps their egg to be fertile more than before. It helps in faster recovery. Once a poultry bird is vaccinated, that vaccination always weighs them down. But because of the multivitamins you have already given prior to the vaccination, it also to resist and also help them to recover quickly from that vaccination. Another one is what ensures efficient metabolism and metabolization of food and other nutrients. Vitamins and minerals are very essential elements in digestion and oxidation, even conversion of feed by poultry and livestock animals. So you can understand now Why it is very, very important that you give multivitamins to your poultry birds before vaccination, because of those reasons I've just mentioned and explained. So it is very, very important. You don't neglect it. It's unavoidable. In fact, if you want your poultry birds to live, it is unavoidable. And that one is 10 mistakes poultry farmers must avoid to succeed in poultry agribusiness. If you are a poultry farmer in any part of the globe, these points I'm going to raise and explain now are the major 10 mistakes you should avoid. Avoid making them. Keep them clear from you, if not, or if you want to succeed. One, inadequate planning. As a poultry agribusiness man or woman, you need to plan. Inadequate planning is a step to failure. You need to develop a comprehensive plan, goal to achieve, budget for your and strategies to achieve those goals. It is very, very important. You need to set goals for your financial, for your income, for how you're going to spend the money, how you're going to realize the money, how you're going to even get the money to invest in the business. All these are the plans you need to take in place. You need to put them in place. And if you avoid making this adequate planning, it also brings failure. So you need to plan very, very well. What is the solution? Make adequate plan prior to starting the business. And that one is for poor biosecurity practices. As a poultry farmer, you need to protect your birds. You need to guide your birds. Unwarranted movement in your poultry pen or in your poultry house or in your poultry environment is not necessary at all, because it can ruin your business. Diseases and infections are the major enemies of poultry and livestock birds. So implementing a strict biosecurity measure will help you to protect and prevent the outbreak of diseases in your poultry farm. So it is very necessary that you guide your poultry businesses very well. And that one is what? Overlooking regulatory compliances. You don't need to overlook the regulations within your environment. Most especially, you need to adhere to the local environmental regulations, the laws governing your environment. You need to regulate. You need to abide by it. You need to work with them. You need to keep it for you to succeed. If not, the law will come against your investment. And that one is what? Neglecting record keeping. Record keeping is very important. Record of income, record of expenses, overhead, and others. You need to do what? Keep them. If you neglect them, it is a step to failure. You don't need to neglect it. How can you neglect record keeping? You need to keep appropriate record, financial record, activities, income, expenses. Everything needs to be kept intact for you to succeed. And that one is what? Ignoring market trends. You need to be up to date with the trend in the market. You need to know the customers' preference. You need to know what the customers need, and you need to work towards achieving their needs, because the demand is what you need for you to supply. If you are working contrary to your demand, it means you are working towards failure. It is very important that you don't ignore the current market trends. What the market demands is what you're supposed to give them, so you don't avoid it at all. Another one is what? Inadequate training and knowledge. As a poultry agribusiness farmer, you need steady training. Many farmers avoid training. I don't know why. Training is very important. It's not Poultry agribusiness is a recurrent activity. It's something that is not steady. Things that happened last 5, 10 years ago is not the same. The kind of diseases and infections that are prevalent in the olden days is not the same today. There are new and different infections that are available now. The market trend is changing on daily basis. So you need to be current with the trend and what is happening in the market and what is happening in the business. You need to train yourself. You need to retrain yourself. You need to continue training. You need to continue educating yourself. You need to be versatile, in fact, for you to succeed. And that one is what? Ignoring quality control. Quality control is very important, because if you produce and nobody buys it, you are losing. You are not doing any business. So it's very important that you do what? Don't ignore the trend, the quality, control, especially in your locality. You need to give them what they need and make sure that you meet up to standard. And that one is what? Understand capital requirement, the financial planning, the goals and objectives of your business. It's very important that you need to understand it. Understanding it is another step to what? Financial freedom and financial upliftment. For you to succeed, you need to do what? Keep it up to date. Inefficient management of resources is very important. If you avoid that, if you neglect that, you are automatically failing. You need to do what? Be active in your management and management of resources. That is very important, that is required, that is necessary for you to achieve your business, for you to achieve your goal in your business. It is very, very important. Lack of diversification. If you don't diversify your business, you may likely fail, because agribusiness is not a steady business. It's something that you need to do what? Bring in other areas that are very necessary. In as much as money comes from different areas, you will hardly fail. But if you follow one direction and you miss it in that particular direction, or you get stuck on the way, it is likely that you will lose all your investment and you don't have anything to fall back to. But if you diversify, you have different breeds of birds, you have different areas of poultry agribusiness, business management, or business process, you can at the same time fall back to one if the other one is not working well. Assuming you're a poultry farmer or a poultry agribusiness farmer, you stock broilers, you stock turkey, you stock guinea fowl, geese, and other ones. If there's no good market for broilers, you make it from turkey. If there's no good market for turkey, you make it from other broiler or other poultry businesses. So this is very, very important. And it's a very necessary step that you should take for you to be up to date and for you to succeed in the business. And that topic I'm going into now is what? 10 organic ways to stop or control poultry odor. Many farmers are calling me, many are asking questions from different platforms. Why? That they have poultry odor, that their poultry is smelling, that is causing a lot of problems, a lot of issues among them and their neighborhood. How do I stop this? How do I control this? How do I minimize this? So this is the particular reason why I bring this topic for you. 10 organic ways to stop or control poultry odor. One is proper waste management. As a poultry farmer, you know actually that you are staying in an environment. You are not living alone. You must have human beings around you. You must, even yourself, your health is very, very important and very necessary. So you need to put all this into consideration. One, must make sure that you have a very good, strict waste management control. All the waste that are accumulated, that all the waste that comes from your business need to be controlled, well disposed of, so that it will not cause environmental hazard or menace to other people around you. Most especially the pen itself, the floor need to be adequately cleaned, properly cleaned on regular basis. And that one is what? High quality organic beddings. What is the beddings? The beddings, if you are using a poultry deep litter system, the beddings are those materials you pour on the floor in order to do what? Insulate the floor from cold and moisture, in order to protect the head of those beds. Those beddings can be sawdust, it can be wood shavings, can be rice offal, can be wheat offal, and it can be anything at all that is common, that is usable in your locality. Those floor need to be properly dried, always dried. Accumulation of moisture on those surface can at the same raise issues, can at the same time cause odor in your environment. So it is very necessary that you do what? Use quality beddings that will be difficult to absorb moisture. This will help you to control the odor. Once the floor is dried, once the floor is completely dried, lack of moisture, it means that you hardly experience or notice any sign of odor in your environment. Another one is what? Improve ventilation. You need a cross ventilation in your poultry farm. In fact, as a poultry agribusinessman, before you go into the business, you need to plan the building structure. You need an expert to construct the building, the poultry pen for you. The poultry pen, for sure, should have a very good ventilation method, a ventilation system. It should be a cross ventilation in a way that there is no way air can stock. There's no way there will be lack of air in that environment. So once there is steady air that blows off all the waste ammonium on the floor, it means that the floor will always be dry and the pen will always be neat and you hardly notice any form of odor. And that one is what composting. All the compost material that are within your pen should be removed. You don't need to keep them for long. And don't allow water or rain to touch them. Once the water or rain drops on them, it will swell up and start accumulating and start what? Generating odor. And that one is what? Essential application of oil. There are certain oils that are deodorants that can help to reduce odor in your poultry pen. You can at the same time apply baking soda in your pen. Sprinkle baking soda. You know baking soda very well. It is a very good organic material that can reduce or if possible control smell in your poultry house. So apply baking soda, sprinkle it in your poultry pen. In as much as it is there, it will hardly generate odor again. And that one is what? Agricultural lime. You know lime. Lime for sure helps to do what? Protects something from decay. So if you sprinkle lime, agricultural lime, within your poultry house to reduce or if possible minimize totally odor in your pen. And that one is what? Herbal additives. There are a lot of herbs that can be planted in your area, in your poultry house to reduce this. But and the next topic I will go into that so that you know some of the herbs, some of the crops, some of the plants that you can plant within your poultry pen that the aromatic scent will help you to control the odor. And that one is what? Probiotics for digestive health. Give your livestock birds probiotics. Synthetic medications are mostly the cause of poultry odor because of the acidic content of these synthetic medications. If you give them probiotic, organic medications, organic boosters like scent leaf, ginger, bitter leaf, neem, and the rest of them, the droppings will hardly be smelling. It's very difficult for you to notice any form of odor in your poultry pen. And that one is what? Strategic planting of fragrant herbs and crops within your environment. Plant in all the sections of your poultry house. Very good plants that are good, that have aromatic scents like lemon. This lemon has a very good scent that can prevent odor in your poultry pen. I will go into that as a different topic. That's why I don't want to dwell much on the type of plant you can plant or type of crop you can plant in your area in order to protect or prevent smell and odor from your poultry pen. Another one is organic herbs that can stop poultry odor. The organic herbs or crops that can stop poultry odor. That is the next topic. Number one is mint. Mint is a very good plant that have aromatic scent that can be planted within poultry houses. You can plant it on a strategic places, and once they grow, their scent, their fresh leaves brings out aromatic scent that smells very nice, that will even subdue any form of odor within your poultry pen. That is very good. So what you do, the fresher the leaves, the more aromatic smell you receive or you get from the leaves. So plant them in a strategic area within your poultry house. That will help you. That will also help you very well. And the second one is what? Lemon balm. Lemon balm is also a plant. It's a plant or a balm from the plant of lemon. You can sprinkle it in your poultry houses. You can even use a dried lemon plant and place on the strategic places in your poultry house if you have them. Why I give you many of them is because anyone that is prevalent, anyone that is common, anyone that you can locate in your area, you make use. It's not compulsory you must make use of all of them. You can even make use of one or two of them. It's okay for you. If you keep the environment neat, your poultry livestock birds will hardly contact any infection That is one thing you have to understand. And that one is what? Lavender plant. The lavender plant is another very good plant that what helps to protect your poultry pen from smelling. Lavender have a very good aromatic scent that prevents odor and sometimes scale away flies and other unwanted ants in your poultry area. So if you have it, either the dried one, you can hang the dry ones on strategic points or strategic corners of your poultry house. The aromatic smell that comes from this lavender will help to protect your poultry house from smell and odor. And that one is what? Basil plant. Basil plant is another very good plant. It's an organic plant that have another good aromatic odor also. How do you apply it? The same way, either you plant it around your poultry houses or you use the dry leaves and sprinkle it and spray it on your floor and hang it around the corner of your poultry house also. And that one is what? Lemongrass. All of us know lemongrass. That lemongrass has aromatic. Even this lemongrass, people boil it and drink. It has a very aromatic taste. It has aromatic odor also. If lemongrass is planted within your area, it scares away even some reptiles, some flies also, and at the same time help to protect and prevent odor from your poultry house. And that is what? Oregano. Oregano is another plant or another plant that you can even sprinkle the dried leaves all over your poultry pen. You can even use it to add to the floor of your poultry house. It helps also to protect your poultry house from odor and also keep your environment neat and scent nice for people. You don't need to keep a very dirty environment. And that one is thyme. Thyme, thyme is a very good plant that has aromatic smell. Even people that use thyme to cook meat, you see how the meat smells. So thyme is a very good plant. If you can sprinkle it or grind it and sprinkle it around your poultry pen, especially the floor, it also helps to protect it. Another one is rosemary plant. Rosemary plant is another organic plant that has a very good scent that at the same time can also, why I mention most of them and I teach most of them is because I don't know the one, I don't know where you are watching from. I don't know the country you may come in contact with this particular content. So anyone that's very common in your area, anyone that you know that is very cheap, that is easier for you to get hold of, you can use it at the same time and make use of it. And that one is what? Sage. Sage is a very good plant that you can as well plant within your area also. Sage, sage, that has a very aromatic smell and scent also. You can as well use it also to plant. And that one is what? Marigano. Marigano is another very good plant. You can even use the dry leaf, dry one and sprinkle or hang around the corner of your poultry house. This will at the same time help to protect and prevent your poultry pen from smelling or producing bad and offensive odor that will attract the anger of your neighbor or even the government. So this is all the plants that you need to keep your poultry house needs from smell organically. Next one, what can I give my broilers to eat well and get enough weight for market preference? You're a broiler producer and you want people to buy your birds. What do you give them? What type of feed? How do you feed them for them to achieve your market target? It's a very important issue. What do you give them to achieve your market target? One, I will first of all explain how you feed your broilers, irrespective of the species or breed or anything at all, in as much as it's a broiler, because broiler is majorly meant for meat production. So I'm going to give you based on the general principles of feeding or feeding pattern that is suitable for any breed of broiler. One, you need to start your broiler day old with either pre-starter, depending on your location, or starter feed. This starter feed provides the high quality starter nutrients, high in protein and fat. It has also a very good metabolizable energy. The protein content ranges from 20 to 24% crude protein that helps to build their body structure within the first week of life. This particular starter should be given to them between the first day of life to the third week of life, or even up to the 4th week of life. It's okay, depending on how long you want to rear that your poultry, or you want to rear that your broiler. So you start with starter, first day, or pre-starter, depending on your location. You can start with pre-starter, or you can start with starter feed. Give it to them for the first 3 weeks of life, or up to 4 weeks of life, for you to be on the safest state. Give it to them up to 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, depending on how long you want that bird to stay with you. If that bird is staying above 6 weeks or up to 8 weeks, you can now start with what? Grower's feed. You can start with grower's feed. Grower feed contains between 18 to 20% crude protein. It is lesser than that of starter. You start with grower from the 4th week up to the 6th week. Give it to them according to the requirements. At the end of this, I think I will give a very good quantity of feed that is required of any poultry bird, or either broiler, noiler, cockerel, layers, turkey, and the rest of them. I will make a very good content so that you know the required quantity of feed on daily basis you're supposed to give them. And if possible, the weight is supposed to give you every week. The weight is supposed to gain every week by each of the birds when you are able to administer such quality of feed. Next one is finisher. You can start finisher after the 6 weeks. After the 6th week, you can start finisher till the 8th week, depending on how long. But most especially, I always advise my fans and my followers to rear their broiler not more than 8 weeks. Because 8 weeks is okay for you to make enough profit, but if you rear it above 8 weeks, it's very likely either you lose some to mortality, or infections or diseases attack and you spend a huge amount of money, or if possible, they start do what? Consuming the profit you would have made. Because once you lose one broiler to mortality, that particular money is gone. You can hardly recover it again. So next one is that finisher. Finisher ranges between 16 to 18% crude protein. It is lesser than that of starter. You can give starter for 3 to 4 weeks, grower for 2 weeks, then finisher between 6th week and 8 weeks before you get your poultry birds to the market. So you can now see how you're supposed to feed your broiler for you to get a very good market. One, make sure you give them additives, either organic or synthetic one. These additives will help them to create enough space for them to eat. It's going to give them enough strength and vitamins to eat and convert the feed they have eaten onto meat. Another one, feed them ab litu, that is 24/7. Provide night for them in the night. Let them eat all the round. But make sure they are not wasting the feed for you, so that they will be able to convert all the feed you are giving to them. And that will give you energy source should be adequate in the feed, because they need energy to do what? Digest and oxidize the feed they have eaten. So minerals and vitamins are very essential nutrient that is unavoidable, inevitable in their feed. It's very likely that you must be enough for them. And that one is monitor their feeding and their health. Monitor their feeding and their health. Always monitor their feeding, their health. If you have a scale, always weigh your broilers to know the weight they are adding per week. If possible, on daily basis, if you have a very good scale, please do that. It's very important for you. And that one is what? Environmental conditions. It's very necessary. Let them have a very good environment, a very good biosecurity. The environment should be neat. The environment should be clean. Broilers like environment, a very good environment. There should be fresh air. There should be fresh air. This fresh air will prevent infections and diseases. And that one, make sure you always, or experts or consultants that always help you. You may not do it alone if you're not a professional. Make sure you seek for knowledge, seek for assistance, consult someone who will manage it for you. After all, it's business. You want to make money from it, and you must spend money. You don't just concise yourself within the little knowledge you have. Poultry is a diversified business. You need adequate training. You need adequate supervision for you to achieve your aim. That is the only way you can make profit in poultry agri-business. We have treated all these today, and I believe that we have gained a lot from this topic I've delivered today. And that one now I want to go in is poultry management. How to control infections, diseases, and all of the elements that do what? Disturb or harm your profit making in poultry business. What are the remote causes of cannibalism? Because many people, most especially, have planted enough broilers that they want to sell within this period, this festive period. We are entering at the peak period. In fact, 3 weeks from now, many people will start selling their products. Less than 3 weeks from now. But do you know one thing? Because of the change of weather in some areas, because of the climatic conditions in some areas, most of these poultry birds have grown. They have gathered weight. And the weight is going to cause much stress for them because of the change in the climate, the temperature, the high rise in temperature will cause additional stress for them. This additional stress may likely make some of the poultry birds angry in a way that they will hardly cohabit with others. So they always antagonize, they always look for a way to eliminate, to reduce their number. And this will cause what we call cannibalism. Cannibalism is the process or the act of another animal eating the other one. That is what we call cannibalism. They start pecking on their body, start trying to eliminate them. That's what we call cannibalism. What are the causes? What are the remote causes of cannibalism? Now, number one is genetics. The genetic or the gene for which that particular particular bird is made up of. The bloodline, let me come down to a layman's view. The bloodline of that particular poultry bird. Remember, as I earlier said, all the poultry birds are not the same breed. Most especially broiler have different genetically modified broiler breeds. We have Cobb, we have Rose, we have Abu Aka, we have Marshall, we have Hubbard, and many other breeds. So all these breeds have their own special characteristics, and you don't take it away from them. Some of them are carnivorous in nature, in as much as they can peck. Some of them like eating others. So if that particular bird is among your birds, it is likely that they are going to cause additional harm to your poultry birds. So the gene or the bloodline or the breed can cause that. Another one is what? Overcrowding. You don't need to overstock. If you have done that, please go now and reduce the number of birds you have in your pen. Go now and reduce it, because this, especially those in the tropical areas, the heat is coming up. Most especially farmers in Africa, the heat is coming up in some places, especially Nigeria. The heat is coming up now. Therefore, you need to do what? Reduce the number of poultry birds you have in your poultry pen. Separate them, let them have space. Let them have enough space for them to move around. Let them have enough space for air to enter into them. Remember that broiler is made up of fat. Remember that broiler is made up of high protein and high fat. Therefore, this build-up of fat always causes their body temperature to always be on the high side. And once it is on the high side, they need space for them to exercise themselves to reduce this stress. So overcrowding of maybe high stocking density can cause cannibalism. Another one of inadequate space. Because of the overcrowding, the space is too narrow for them to move, and their body contact will always be there. Once there is body contact, there will be anger. So this anger can cause what? Cannibalism. Poor lighting system. If you provide light for them at night, you give them food at night. Most especially during that night, everywhere is properly cold. So cold time is good for them to eat. And once they eat in the cold time, during the daytime, they will not have enough. They will have enough time to rest instead of, and the body temperature will reduce because they don't have any food in their gutter here. So it's going to drop. Another one is what? Temperature variation and extremes. Too hot temperatures. If the temperature is too hot, it's automatically your poultry bird is going to experience what we call cannibalism, because it is heat that always causes cannibalism also. Inadequate environmental enrichment, like sawdust. The sawdust is not enough. If the beddings, it will do what? Lessen the heat. If the roofing type you use for a poultry pen is not good, it's the one that absorbs more of heat, is going to affect them at the same time also. And you should provide enough perches so that most of them can fly up and perch on wood or some other areas to give space, so that the space on the floor will be enough for the ones that will be on the floor. If you provide enough perches, enough laying cupboards, enough laying boxes, so that there will be no contact. The contact will be minimal if you provide all these things. So it's very necessary that you have them also. Sudden changes in environment. If you carry one bed from another location, you maybe move one bed from another pen house to another one. It becomes a newcomer in that particular pen. So they automatically going to be aggressive on that particular one, because it will look as if, most of all these animals are jealous. They are jealous in nature. Once another animal comes in, they feel that this one want to come and share the feed with us. They'll start hitting that one. Before you know it, you lose that one. And that one is disease. If disease attack a poultry birds, and that particular one is weak, once it's weak, it goes to one corner to go and rest. Others will feel that we use the advantage of that weakness to attack that particular bird. And that one is what? Lack of management skill and practices. You don't have enough skill. You don't have enough management ability. You don't have enough knowledge. You don't train yourself and retrain your staff. It's going to cause this also. What are the solutions? Provide adequate space for them, proper lighting, temperature should be controlled. If the water is too hot, put ice block into their water. Give them a nutritional balanced ration. Once their feed is balanced, they get all the minerals they need from the feed. They will hardly peck. Do you know that some of them even peck on the wall just to look for cashew? Some of them even open the wall and eat sand for them to look any of the mineral or vitamin that is lacking in their feed. This is what is applicable in poultry and livestock birds. There should be training. Train your staff, train yourself at the same time. Involve yourself, make yourself available for training. See, now I'm online training people, but only few are online. So you need to make yourself available. If you don't make yourself available, I don't know why people like education. Many people hate education totally. They only like to depend on someone's mentality. You develop a content and put there for them to watch and get educated. They will leave the content and be asking you a question. You see, one of the problems we always have. So you need to be trained, you need to be retrained, and you need to be educated. And that one is what? Provide environmental richness, provide a good beddings, provide perches where they can fly and rest, provide everything that's necessary for them. Separate the aggressive ones, remove them from the pen and keep them in a different location. Sort your birds according to their sizes. If their sizes are either, make sure that all the sizes that are equal be on one particular location. The other size is in another location. If you bring a 3 months old and 3 weeks old chick and include 4 months or 5 months, there will be problem in that particular area. So you don't make sure that they are of the same age and of the same size. Sort them always and do what? Cut the beak if they are attacking each other. Regular monitor them, check them always. Make sure you always check them. Check if there is any unforeseen event or also unforeseen circumstances or anything that is going contrary to your own expectation. You have to do that. Make a very good record keeping of all the poultry birds. Make good record keeping of whatever you bring in and whatever that goes out also. Make sure that you always train yourself. It's very, very important for you to succeed in this feathered and four-legged business. And the one we have now, these are some of the things we are going to experience during this period. And that one is paralysis, inability of broiler to be able to stand on his feet. This is some of the things we are going to experience this period. Inability of broiler to stand on his feet. Many people are already sending me message, my broiler cannot walk. Not only sending message, they send video. I see the video also. My broiler cannot walk, my broilers cannot stand. Do you know why? Many people are always interested in feeding the broiler to get massive weight. They are always ready to give broiler the massive weight it requires, without minding the nutritional content of or the quality of the feed they are giving. If that feed is not balanced, something is going to lack. Remember that the weight of the body is being carried by the structure of the bone. If the bone is not strong enough to carry it, automatically that particular bird may not stand. the body weight will be too heavy for the bone. If the bone is not fortified with enough calcium, it's automatically that bone will not be able to stand to carry the body weight. That's why you see them crawl. That's why you see them paralyzed. So this is one of the reasons. I'm going into this particular topic now. What are the causes of inability of broilers to stand? That is what we call straddle legs. Number one is growth rate. If the growth is above the body weight, it's going to have paralysis. So you need to feed your broiler according to the required nutrient quality and quantity they need. Don't overfeed them. Don't overfeed your broilers because you want to achieve market weight. You want to achieve a very good result from one broiler. There is a required quantity of feed you need to give them. Give them that quantity of feed and make sure they don't overgrow. That one is another one. Another one is what? Nutritional issue and deficiencies in nutrients. If there are deficiencies, as I earlier said, in the nutrients, there are some vitamins that are lacking. You cut corners in the minerals and vitamins that are needed to be in the feed, and they are not there. You just neglected them, feeling that they are not necessary because most of them are micronutrients that you don't see. They are too tiny that you neglect them because you feel that they are not bulky enough to feed your chicken so that they will not be hungry again. No, most of these micronutrients contains the essential minerals and resources that are needed for broilers for the well-being of your broilers and chickens, in short. Another one is what? Obesity. Obesity is overweight bears. Overweight bears. Why do bears overweight? When you overfeed them, when you give them imbalanced ration, they overweight. You give them too much of fat, the fat becomes too much than the protein in their body. The protein and the fat becomes too much than the calcium in their body. It will make them obese and they will not be able to stand. And that one is what? Injury. If there is any injury during the process, or depending on what you're using, either through battery cage or injury caused by anything at all, or by even the other chickens also, it will make that one to crawl. That one will not be able to walk. And one is infection. Infection can at some time cause that also. Infection can dry their legs and they will not be able to stand. And one is environmental factor like poor hygiene, overcrowding, slippery of the floor, and the wet floor can cause that one at the same time. So if the floor is too wet, if the floor is too slippery, automatically most of the bears will not walk because they will be used to squatting. And once they are used to squatting, their bone will be affected. Nutrition. What nutrition? Very, very good. Nutrition that have a very good protein, that have a very good fat, that has a very good fiber, that has a very good metabolizable energy, that has minerals and vitamins that are necessary for their growth and well-being. Monitor their weight always and regularly. As a broiler farmer, I am very surprised that most of my fans don't even have scale. You need to provide a very small scale that you weigh your livestock, you weigh your broilers almost on daily basis. You need to pick some samples. Not all. You pick some samples, maybe about 2 or 5. Weigh them and to know. You record it so that the next day you now know whether they are adding or they are losing. If the weight is growing too much, you now change their feed to reduce so that it's not even getting the massive weight that matters. If they're not healthy, they may get the massive weight before you get to the market, so you may lose some of them to mortality. That's one of the things. And that one is what? Early detection of this paralysis is very important. If you detect it early, you can easily correct it. Treatment: isolate them. Anyone that's paralyzed, remove them from the pen, keep them separate so that other ones will not stampede them. Dietary adjustment: adjust their feed. If they are getting too much weight, use grower to continue. Then another one, medication, either probiotic, organic, or synthetic ones. Anyone that's feed that is necessary, consult your veterinarian or your expert or your consultant to know the appropriate medication you give them to increase the strength of their bone. Supportive care is very important. And at the same time, cooling. Anyone that you know that cannot survive, you better send them to the normal place it's supposed to be. All these are the measures you need to take for you to do what? Control and regulate paralysis or straddle leg in poultry broiler in your pen. You need to know this. Another topic we are going in now is what? Sudden mortality in adult broilers. What are the causes of sudden? If you are a poultry farmer, this is a very important topic for you. Wherever you are watching this or you watch this, take it and watch it and make sure you understand it properly well. I'm going to give you 12 of sudden mortality in adult broilers. Many farmers are already calling me right now. That's why I raise most of these topics. It's unfortunate that many of the broiler farmers, many of the poultry farmers don't like education. But I have to educate whoever comes across this particular content. Please take this topic, don't take this topic for granted. Assimilate them, understand them, and practice them. One is heat stress. In as much as the broilers are growing fatter and fatter, you have bombarded them with feed to make sure they grow fat, for you to achieve your market, for you to, you are doing what? The body mass will be too heavy for them, especially during this period. And once the body is too heavy for them, accompanied with the heat, they may find it difficult to breathe, most especially during the high temperature time. Once they are breathing with their mouth and there is no enough water there, you are suddenly going to lose that particular bird. So heat stress is one. Another one is what? Infectious disease like avian influenza, infectious bronchitis, and other respiratory diseases can as well cause sudden mortality. They will only breathe with their mouth. This is going to cause mortality for them. So another one is coccidiosis. Coccidiosis is a bacterial infection, and it's mostly occurred when you have a very poor biosecurity in your poultry house. So this coccidiosis can as well cause sudden death, that or sudden mortality. You can just come and see that you have lost most of your broiler. It's most especially the heavy ones. You may not even notice it if you're not careful, if you're not a careful farmer. And that is what? Overcrowding, as earlier mentioned. Overcrowding is another one. Because once they're overcrowded, their body will be touching each other or one another. And once their body is touching, what it causes is what? It increase the body temperature. And body temperature can cause what? Cardiac arrest in broiler, sudden death. And that one is what? Sudden dietary changes. You don't change poultry feed anyhow. You don't just wake up maybe because you don't have enough money. You decide to buy any feed you like. No. Before you change the feed, make sure you enable them to get acquainted to the new feed you want to use. And now it's toxic substance, any chemical, anything that is dangerous that can cause harm, that can is supposed to be removed from that particular environment. Most of the chemicals, some people spray chemicals, some people spray disinfectant in areas. This can cause sudden death. And that one is what? Heart failure. I earlier mentioned. Heart failure is as a result of overfat. Obesity can cause heart failure because the heart pumps enough blood, and the vessels is too tiny because of fat has covered labored. So what happens? The heart can just lose compression and do what? Go off, and that will cause sudden death. That's why most of the times you just go out and come back and see a broiler raising two legs up. This is one of the reasons why it happens. Most people have already called me. Someone told me just a few minutes ago that his broiler just made some sound, made 2 or 3 sound, and just gave up immediately. That is what we call heart attack or cardiac arrest or heart failure in broiler. And that one is what? Electrolyte or electrolyte imbalances can cause paralysis. Lighting issues, sudden change in lighting can cause paralysis also. Trauma can cause paralysis. Another one is respiratory issues, as I earlier said, bronchitis, mycoplasma, and CROD can cause this. Paralytic infections like internal worms and even external worms can cause that sudden mortality also. The ectoparasite and endoparasite can cause it. All this is what you need to put in place and check them. Make sure that you check all these things. This is what can cause sudden mortality. That you just go out. Somebody told me that you want to bath. When he came in, he just looked into his poultry pen. He saw 3 already lying flat. He thought they were just squatting. When he went there, they were already stiff. So this is one of the reasons why this thing can happen. You have seen the problems, you have seen the solutions. So you need to apply them. Another one we have, another topic I have now is factors to consider while choosing poultry breed to farm. If you're a poultry farmer, don't just go into poultry because others are going into it. Make sure that you consider a lot of factors before you decide on the particular poultry you are going in for. One is the purpose. Are you going in for egg? Are you going in for meat? Are you going in for ornament? Are you going in for security? There are poultry birds that are good for security, like ostrich. Ostrich is good for security. They are very, very aggressive. They can stay in your environment, even their noise, everything. They can kick, they can run, all this is. They are good. Are you going in for egg? You want to sell the egg, you want to eat the egg. If you're going in for egg, you go for red you can go for red Rhode Island, you can go for black layers, you can go for low hams. You can as well go for um you can as well go for Noilers. Though Noila is not a very good laying bed. You can go for it depending on the choice. Is it for commercial? If it's for commercial, Noila is not good for you. If it's meat, you go for broilers. Noila is good for meat and egg, but it's not superb for commercial purposes. So you need to choose, know the purpose for which you are going in for. Check the climate in your area. The climate you are in, is it the heat type? Is it the cold type? Which type of bird can survive in your area? You need to consider all these things. It's very, very necessary, very important for you. You need to check them. And even if you are going in for broiler, not all the broilers survive well in heat zones. Some broilers survive well in cold areas. Some survive in good because of the breed. Make sure you check, ask questions, get educated before you just buy. Some people just buy broiler because they see something white, they just pick it as a broiler. Know your area, know the environmental conditions of your area. It's very important. Now, what space you have, which kind of space do you have? Do you have the space that can take turkey? Do you have this? Remember that turkey is a bigger bird. Remember that geese is a bigger bird. Remember that all these ones, is the space enough for you to go in for that particular breed? You need to consider the space you have. And that one is what? Temperament. The particular bird you want to go in for. Is it the one that can see and cause injury or harm to people? If it's the type, don't go for it. You check the environment. If your environment is properly secured, you know the particular breed of bird you have to go for. Egg color. Do you want brown egg? Do you want white egg? Do you want blue egg? Do you want egg? The egg also determines the type of poultry bed you want to go in for. Some egg, some chicken lay black egg, some lay white egg, some lay blue egg, some lay green egg. The choice depends on you. Choose your breed. And now it's breed size. The size of the housing you have, is it good for broiler? Is it good for birds that don't need heat? All this is what you need to consider them also. And that is broodiness. Do you have incubator to hatch them if they lay egg for you? Do you have incubator to process them? If you don't have, then you need to go for a poultry breed that can hatch, that can lay egg, and at the same time hatch it. Are you getting me now? It's very important. This is very, very important. You need to know all these things. And now it's the quality of the meat they will produce for you. You need to consider the quality of the meat. Is it the meat that people around you will like? You need to know this. And that one is what? Foraging ability. Is it the type of bird that will walk around to look for their food? Or are you ready to provide to catch them and provide all the food they need, all the minerals, vitamins, metabolism energy, crude fiber, crude protein, fat, and rest of them? Are you ready to provide all these things for them? If you're ready, then you choose the particular bird you go. If you're not ready, then choose for a bird that can forage by itself, a bird that can go around, the type of bird that can go around and look for their food and come back in the evening and sleep and go out again in the morning to look for their food. These are things you need to know also. And that is what? Health and disease resistant. A bird that can resist disease. Which kind of environment are you? Are you in an environment that people have local birds that move around? Then you need to consider all this. Or are you going to cage them in a secured, fenced house? You need to consider all this. If not, you need to know the kind of bird that will be able to resist the kind of infection or disease you have in your area. And that one is what? Lifespan. Most of the birds can live up to 7 years. Some can live up to 12 years. Can live under 6 years. Some under 6 months. Some under 3 months. So which type of bird do you want? Do you want a bird that will stay longer with you in the house? That will stay longer in the environment? You need to consider their lifespan at the same time. Noise. If you're going in for a bird like guinea fowl that can make noise, that can cause issues, can cause problems within your environment. Because of the noise alone, many people will not sleep in the night because at times in the night they will just start shouting, they will start crying. So you need to do what? Know the kind of bird you go in for. If your environment is away from where people live, yes, you can consider guinea fowl all at the same time. If you are living with the neighbor and the environment is properly secured and you know that the noise will not affect them, you also choose that one also. And that one is what? Egg production season. Some birds produce during the rainy season, some produce during the dry season. Do you need egg throughout the season? Then you need to consider the bird you go in for. The one that will be able to lay throughout the season for you. You want the one that will lay during the rainy season alone, maybe like, something like duck, something like geese, something like guinea fowl. You can go for them at the same time. Availability. When you need them, do you always see them? How often do you see those birds within your area? It's very important you consider it also. Another one is local regulation. Did the law support it? Did the community support it? Will the regulatory authority support it? You need to consider that also. Another one is preferential treatment. Your own choice, your personal choice also matters a lot. I cannot decide for you. You decide for yourself. Upon all I'm giving you, all the factors I'm giving you here, you know the choice. And you make sure that the choice will be the one that will suit within your locality. It's very, 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 very important. Your locality matters a lot because they are the people that will do what? Patronize you. They are the people that you live. You cannot live an isolated life. Somebody must be with you. And that one is what? Breeding and preservation. How do you breed them in case you want more of it? How do you preserve the breeded ones? How do they grow? All this you need to do what? Put them into consideration. I believe with this point, you'll be able to now understand the factors that you need to put in place, you need to consider before you choose any particular breed of bird or breeds of bird you want to go in for. Another topic we have now is how to make poultry feeding cost effective. This is the season where many farmers are crying because of the high cost of feed in the market. Now, how do we make this poultry feed very effective? Let me do. How do we make it very cost effective, cheaper for us? If you're a poultry farmer, one thing you need to understand is that the cost of the feed alone takes more than 70% of your total investment in poultry farming. Note this, it is what agreed, it is known, it is widely accepted, and everybody knows that. So how do you reduce this cost of feeding? One, buy feed in bulk. Buy in bulk from the manufacturers. If you are a large scale farmer, please buy directly from the manufacturers. Boycott some of the middlemen and buy from the manufacturers. Most of the discount they give to those middlemen can at the same time buy extra feed for you. And that is what? Compare company prices. Don't just because you know company A is what you have been using far back. Find the price of other company B, company C, company D. Then you can formulate your own feed. Formulate your own feed like us here. We do our own, we prepare our own feed. And it costs low for us because we make use of the available raw materials in our area. Most of the companies are situated in one location. They go and that location. Assuming they are in the south, they go to the north and buy feed raw materials, transport it to the south and produce the raw materials, and take the raw materials back to the south, back to the north to go and say to them, what has happened? There will be added value, there will be added cost on moving up and sending back to them or center. But if you, in that particular area where they come and buy, have the ability to produce your own feed, it will be cheaper for you. Those costs of transport and costs of added value and everything will reduce. You produce the feed at a very cheap and a very low rate. Reduce waste. If a farmer reduce waste in feeding your poultry birds, I've seen many farmers, they just feed the whole because they want to go out. They just feed the whole feeder. The birds will eat and get tired and use their mouth and scatter the whole feed on the floor. And those feed on the floor are all wasted. You can hardly regain them and they will not convert to meat. So then why is it necessary? Why is it important? What have you done? What have you achieved? You are now losing. So you need to do what? Minimize weight. Optimize nutrient rate. Increase the rate and quality of your feed. Utilize local resources. Bring in local resources. Anything available. Household waste like cassava peel, yam peel, potato peel, pineapple peel, pawpaw peel. All these things are viable feed raw materials. Make use of them to drop your feed cost. Another one is what? Use alternative protein sources. Don't use the protein sources that are human beings that are still fighting for. If you go to the market now, human beings are looking for peanut. Companies are looking for peanut. Companies are looking for soya bean. Look for the West. Use the waste from all those resources and produce your own feed at a very cheap rate. But if you go for the ones that are leaving the companies, everybody's now looking for it. The demand will shoot the cost up, and that cost will make your feed to be very expensive. So use the waste and produce your own feed. Practice rationing grazing. If it's possible, plant your own crops. make use of them. Plant corn, plant soya bean, and all these ones. Harvest them and make use of them to produce their own feed. At the same time, maintain good flock health. If your flock is healthy, it's always good that their feed conversion rate is going to increase. So whatever little feed you give them, they will bring enough meat for you. Monitor and adjust their feeding appropriately. Make sure you always monitor, check them. If they're overweight, you reduce the feed, use another feed supplement. They can use another alternative. The cost of grower feed is cheaper than the cost of the finisher feed. You can use the cost of, you can use at the same time. At the same time, use things from your household. It's very, very important. That will take us to another topic. Severe adverse health challenges of poultry during the hot season. We are in the hot season, most especially in Nigeria and some other African countries. What are the adverse effects of or the health challenges poultry are going to experience during the hot season? One is heat stress. I already mentioned. There will be heat stress, which can cause mortality. There will be drop in egg, and even the egg quality. Most of the chicken are going to lay what we call abnormal egg shell. Most of the times the egg shell will be too watery, too light. Some even will look like masquerade on the floor. So they're going to give you abnormal egg during this heat period. There will be reduced growth rate. The heat period is not the proper period for poultry birds to grow. Most of them, during the time they need to eat, they are overstressed. Let me tell you, if they're overstressed, the food will be there. They prefer, they like their lives, in short. Both livestock and human beings like their lives. So if they know that if they eat this feed, they are going to lose their life, they will leave the feed and be drinking water. And that time, they are not eating. They would hardly get minerals and vitamins and nutrients to grow. So it's going to reduce the number of feed they are going to consume. Even fish, both fish and even aqua animal or every animal at this period of time, they are going to drop in the consumption of their feed. That's going to affect their growth at the same time also. Respiratory distress during the heat period also. Most of them will be breathing with their mouth to make sure they breathe. They will continue breathing with their mouth. If they're breathing with their mouth, where would they eat the meat, the food from? It's not from their mouth. When they're breathing, opening their mouth and breathing, affecting them, there will be decrease in feed conversion. The quantity of feed they eat, they will not be able to convert it because of the heat stress also. Immune system is going to be weak. So most of them are going to be prone to infections and diseases during this period. There will be dehydration. They will drink a lot of water. So it is very necessary that you provide enough water for them throughout this period. Make sure that they have water. Even if you don't have food, make sure that they have water. There will be heat-related injuries like cramps, heart stroke, increase in mortality, heart attack, cardiac arrest, and pecking and cannibalism is going to be more in this particular heat period. Behavioral changes. Most of them are going to behave in an abnormal way. The way they used to behave before, they will not behave in that manner. Some of them are going to be flying. Some of them will be crying. Some of them will be making some noise that you may not even understand. There will be feather loss. So some are going to peck. Some are going to drop their feathers because of the heat. Because you know that their body is covered with feathers. You wearing a sweater is going to make their body always hot. Some of them are going to lose the feather for them to do what? Make sure they survive throughout this heat. Just like you, if you are living in a very hot environment, you won't like to wear singlet. You always like to wear something that is open, that will give you enough air, enough freedom to have air. What are the solutions? Provide adequate ventilation. Make sure you provide shade on their roof. If you are having a very low roof, please look for shade, green leaves, cover the whole roof. Reduce stocking density. Reduce the number of birds you stock per pen. It's very necessary for you during this period. Make sure you separate them. Make sure you sort them according to their size. Make sure you monitor their heads always. Manage the lighting system. Give them the light at night. Let them eat, most especially in the night. The night time you have cold. Everywhere is shade, so they will eat well. So in the daytime, let them manage and do what? Secure themselves from the heat. So all these ones and improve the bedding floor. The litter, what you put on the floor should be increased. Increase the quantity so that the heat from the floor, even if they decide to squat and do what we call saw bath, the heat will not be much for them. All these are the solutions to what we are going to experience or what we are going to experience during this period. So I hope this particular topic is properly treated and all the solutions are well provided. How to take care of chronic respiratory disease and running nose, also known as CRD in poultry. How do you take care of CRD in poultry? One, isolate the affected birds. You need to isolate all the affected birds. Keep them in a different environment entirely, very far from the healthy ones, so that they will not infect them. And that one, maintain proper ventilation. Proper ventilation also help in doing what? Maintaining the health of the poultry birds. It also helps to reduce the effects of CRD in poultry birds. Clean the environment neatly. There should be no watering. The floor should not be wet. If the floor is wet, it's going to cause some ammonia that will generate some other harmful organisms that may even affect them. Most especially coccidiosis, they're going to affect them. So it's very necessary that the environment should be maintained properly, should be cleaned, and it should be dried. You should have a very stable bedding, very neat environment, and control the temperature and humidity within that environment. Very necessary. Open all the windows, open all the doors, open every cage, open everywhere, and let there be fresh air in that particular place. There should be proper water management. If you are using the water system, please give them enough water. Make sure there's no blockage in the nozzles. If you are using the can or the drinker, please provide enough water for them throughout this period. It's going to help them enough, because this is the time they need a very good water. Dehydration can cause mortality, and mortality will cause loss to that particular. There should be strict biosecurity. Stop people from entering in your pens during this period, because this is a time that infection can spread because of the high wind that blows. As this wind are blowing from the left, from the south, from the east, from the north, from the west, as they are blowing in, they are coming in with infections. They're coming in with. Remember that most of the viral infections are airborne diseases. They breathe them in and it's affect them. Once affect them, you can come in and see that all your birds are gone. So this is the period that you need to be. Is very necessary. Provide organic medications or synthetic one, anyone that is available within your reach. Make sure it is always available during this period. Most especially organic medications. Provide organic medications. Provide it for them regularly. Don't even wait for them to get sick before you provide organic. Organic doesn't have more. It doesn't have after bad effects. So that's one thing with organic. So always consult your expert. Consult your veterinarian. Consult your supervisor. Make sure you have a guide. Make sure you have a mentor. Make sure you have a supervisor that will always guide you, because your own mentality alone may not carry out this season, may not be able to lead you on. So this is a very good topic that I've treated now. And that one is what we call infectious coryza in poultry. What is infectious coryza? Infectious coryza is a bacterial respiratory disease that affects poultry, especially chicken. Most of the times you see them, their eye will swell up, the water will be dropping from the eyes. This is what we call infectious coryza. It is also caused by the harmful ammonium from the beddings of your poultry house. Well, how do you take care of this? One is isolation also. Remove those ones that are affected. Remove them entirely in a different location so that they will not infect the whole place. Use antibiotics like tetracycline or any other medication that has sulfur in it if you are using synthetic. Or use garlic, onions, and scent leaf. Join them together, pound them, use the extract, and serve them for between 5 to 7 days. It will clear. Or use any synthetic. If you are going synthetic, use synthetic tetracycline or any other medication that has sulfur in it. It's going to help you to take care of it. There should be supportive care. During this period that they are not seeing well, you need to make sure that they see the food. Put the food, let their pig touch the food so that they'll be able to eat and drink water. Because once the eye is blocked, they hardly see. They may even you may even lose them due to hunger. So it's very important that you support them throughout this period. Improve ventilation, open the air, let there be fresh air coming in. That fresh air will help them to recover quickly. There should be regular vaccination. Don't play with your vaccination. Your vaccination schedule should be intact, should be top-notch in your poultry pen. If you are using synthetic, make sure that you always guide them, protect them with vaccination. There should be good environmental management. Disinfect your poultry house before you stock any new bird. Regulate and monitor any sign of infection or prevalence of infection within your poultry house. There should be personal hygiene. Clean all the necessary equipment, all the drinkers, the feeders, and anything that the poultry birds are using to eat or to drink. If possible, anyone that you know that cannot survive, you better cool that one. You better slaughter that particular one so that it will not cause additional damage to you. This is the way you can handle coryza in your poultry house. We are coming closer to the end of today's topic. If you are not online now, I believe that you will be online. You watch this. If you have any question, please do share this particular topic to reach more farmers. It is, unfortunately, I did not announce this online, but I know why I am convinced in my spirit is that even if at the end of the training you have the access to the content, you can watch it anytime, because today I'm treating many topics in one, many topics. So you have the access to it, to watch it many times as possible. As you are watching it, you'll be copying out the notes, and I will continue like that from time to time until many of my followers, many of my subscribers will start knowing, because this is the first time I'm going live on this particular page, and I know that I have over 1,006, almost 1,700 subscribers in this particular page. So anytime you come across it, please share the video, watch it. If you have questions, drop your questions on the comment section. I will attend to your questions. No matter how many questions you ask, the more you ask questions, the more I get happier with you. I'm ready 24 hours to answer all your questions. So be comfortable with your questions. I will attend to each and every one of them with the expert, and I'll give you the expert knowledge, the expert way of running your poultry agri business. Let's go into another topic, if the time permits us. Causes and treatment of watery poop in poultry. Watery diarrhea. Diarrhea in poultry. What are the causes? 1. Bacterial infection such as Salmonella, E. coli can cause this, can cause diarrhea in poultry. If your poultry bed have what you call E. coli or Salmonella, they are going to drop watery poop for you. This watery poop can actually drop it. It can stain your floor, and to make your floor always wet, because they will eat solid meal and drop watery poop for you. And this what the whole place is going to be swampy. It's going to be watery. It's going to be waterlogged, and at the same time, it's going to cause offensive odor. It's going to cause smell. This is one of the things. And at the same time, it can as well cause what you call bacterial infections like coccidiosis can generate from this particular floor. So there's one. Another cause is what? Viral infection like avian influenza and Newcastle can as well cause this. Newcastle can cause it. Avian influenza can cause it. So if your bed contains any of these viral infection, it can as well cause watery poop. Another one, coccidiosis, can as well do that. Coccidiosis is a bacterial infection which can be from the floor, can cause a lot of diarrheas and that thing. Worm, in the parasite, that is the ones inside the intestine, can as well cause it. They will eat solid meal and they will drop. They will hardly convert their feed during this period. And that one, heat stress. Heat stress can cause diarrhea. Watery people, heat stress can cause that also. Heat stress can cause it. So overcrowding, poor ventilation can cause it. If there is no fresh air coming in, this can at the same time cause it. What are the treatments? Isolation of the wet ones. Isolate the birds. There should be good hydration. Provide enough water for them. Change their feeding. If the feed you are giving to them is causing diarrhea for them, change it at the same time. There should be antiparasites. Give them antiparasites like ivermectin. Ivermectin is a very good antiparasite that you can give to them. Or you give them pawpaw leaf, pawpaw seed, and unripe pawpaw. Slice it, crush pawpaw seed, and give the extract to them. It can do what? Remove worm from their system. Another one is vaccine. They provide adequate vaccine for your poultry, most especially if you are in synthetic poultry production. Proper floor management. Give them very good floor. Let the floor be always dry. A dry floor will hardly produce toxic substances. Next topic is here. How often do a poultry farmer need to deworm his poultry beds? How many times do you need to deworm your poultry beds? How many times? This is a question. All these are questions people are throwing on me. So that's why I want to build up this particular topic for you to understand it now. If you are a poultry farmer, what are the conditions necessary? How many times do you need to deworm your poultry beds? Factors necessary to note before deworming your poultry beds. What are the conditions that is necessary that affect how many times you deworm your poultry beds? One is the age of the bed. So how many times you deworm younger birds is not the same number of times you deworm older birds. Younger birds need fewer deworm period, while older birds need steady deworm period. Most especially, deworm your poultry birds once in every 3 weeks or once in maximum once in every month. That's one. Two, another factor is what? The environmental condition. If you are staying in a very neat, sanitized environment, you lessen the number of times you deworm your poultry birds. Another one is local prevalence. Have you been noticing that most of your birds are being attacked by worm? If it's something you have been always regularly monitoring, you have been noticing it regularly, so you need to deworm them regularly. That will help you enough. Also, flock health. If you know that your flock, your poultry birds are all sicky, they are sicky in nature, they look weak, you need to do what? Deworm them first before you give them any form of medication. Rotational or changing can help also. If you're moving them from one pen to another pen from time to time, it can as well change. Seasonal conditions is another factor that we need to be considered. In general rule, deworming should take place between 2 to 4 months intervals. So this is my own conclusion for you. If you have any question, please make sure you drop your questions on the comment section. I will be answering your questions one after the other. Anytime you come across a question, anytime I see any of your questions, I don't neglect them. I always I'll make sure I tackle them. Smart ways poultry and livestock farmers need to take to cut cost of feed. I think I have treated this, but somebody asked this question. One is proper nutritional planning. You need to plan nutrition. Proper nutritional planning is very important. Proper nutritional planning is very necessary. And that one is bulk purchasing. I've said this earlier. I want to just go straight to it. And now do it yourself. Produce by yourself. Efficient feed management techniques. Supplement, bring additives from your environment, your household. Make sure you keep adequate record of the feed you are taking the waste. I think I've said this many times and I only repeated them now so that we get aware of it. And that one is, what are the adverse effects of poor biosecurity? What are the effects? If you have a poor biosecurity in your poultry farm, what do you expect? What are the effects? What are the adverse effects? This is very, very necessary for you to know. One, if you have a poor biosecurity, there is going to be disease outbreak. You're going to have a very bad disease outbreak in your area. Because poor biosecurity means that there will be regular and prevalent of diseases in your area. There will be rapid spread of pathogens that will cause infections. Reduce production, because if you have poor biosecurity, there will be reduced in production, either in egg or meat. There will be decrease in growth rate also of your poultry birds. Because of the poor biosecurity, there's no enough air. There will be low in egg production also. There will be increase in mortality. You're going to lose most of your birds. The cost of running the business is going to be very high for you. There will be impact on feed safety. There will be contaminations of feed because the whole place is going to be stuffy. So the feed itself is going to be adulterated. It is going to be contaminated by unwanted or surrounding contaminants. In fact, there's going to be high dependency on antibiotics and medications. You're going to buy a lot of medications to keep them healthy, which is going to affect you also. Even the consumers are going to be at very risk because they are going to consume most of the affected birds and it's going to affect them. There will be contamination also. There will be potential transmission of diseases across all the poultry birds you have. All these are what you're going to expect if you have a very poor biosecurity in your poultry farm. What are the causes of diarrhea in poultry? Causes of diarrhea in poultry. My poultry buyers have been purging in the extent that they hardly eat. They are very weak that they hardly eat. So what do I do? Causes of diarrhea. Bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, parasite infections, coccidiosis, as I earlier said, sudden changes in diet, environmental changes, poor biosecurity, poor flow, congestion, poor water, poor sanitation, all these are causes. Lack of metabolizable energy in the feed, inflammatory objects, poor sanitations, and all this is liver disease, can also call it, drug abuse in the poultry pen in the poultry, livestock, animal can cause it. Overuse of synthetic medications can cause it. You overuse medications, you always bombard them with different medications without even proper veterinary advice. Thank you. Give them quality feed. Toxic management. Remove any that is toxic to them. Remove it from the environment. Keep vaccination schedules. Quarantine them. Isolate the ones that are not good, that are not healthy. Monitor and keep accurate record. It's very, very important. Implement a very good biosecurity measure. It's very, very necessary for you to achieve your optimal goal. Somebody sent me a message that he had the chicken, most of the chicken's tail are bent. He has a bent tail. Most of their tail are bent to one side. Bent tail. Their tails bent to one particular direction. He asked me what could be the reason. I've been online to listen. Now listen to what could be the reason for that. One is injury or trauma. Trauma can cause the tail of your fowl or chicken to bend to one side. Diseases can cause it also, like Marek disease. Marek disease can cause that also, that affect the nervous system of your poultry birds. That can as well cause it also. It can as well cause that Marek can as well cause muscle problem. It can cause paralysis also. It can as well affect the tail of your poultry bird also. Newcastle disease, which is a viral infection, can as well cause the tail to bend to one side also. Mycoplasma is another infection that can lead to tail bend in your poultry birds, which can as well cause joint or respiratory infection. Another one is nutritional deficiencies. If there is a lot of vitamins and minerals that are needed to be in their feed is not there, it's automatically their bend, the muscle of their descent will not be effective to carry to bend it. Another one is genetic factor, which gene of which that particular bird is made up of can as well cause the bent tail. So if your poultry this is having, or most especially if there are many that have such issues, spread them from other ones. Now start changing their pattern of feeding. Give them adequate feed that is necessary for their growth. Give them enough feed that they deserve. All these are what you need to do for you to safeguard it. If we are using organic, provide a very good organic medications like ginger, like bitter leaf and scent leaf. Provide it in their feed. Always give it to them for 7 days and continue with calcium supplement like bone or oyster shell. Mix it in their feed to make sure their feed have enough minerals and enough vitamins. It can correct it in short time. Factors that can cause egg deformity. What are the factors? I only mentioned something about egg deformity that can be one of the reasons or one of the during the hot period. And at the same time, I want to now tell you the factors that can cause or that can and the remedy. Egg deformity is a situation where former shape they become shapeless. Some of them become shellless. The shell is too watery, the shell is too porous. So what can the factor that can cause? One is the age of the bird. If the bird is too old, it can lay an abnormal egg. The calcium deficiency in the poultry feed can as well cause it. If there's calcium deficiency in your poultry meal, it can as well cause the egg to be deformed. Like vitamin D deficiency can cause that also. Poor nutrition can as well cause it. Still, disturbances within the laying period. If there's lack of laying burst, it can cause it because when the egg is delayed in their system, they lay it very late. It can as well cause it also. Infection diseases like bronchitis, Marek's, Newcastle, coccidiosis can as well cause deformity in eggs also. Hormonal imbalance can do that, can cause that also. Delay in egg collection. If you don't collect your eggs and they don't have spaces to lay egg, and the eggs stay too long in their system, it can cause that also. Environmental factors like noise, disturbances, fluctuations, and every other environmental factor like the floor is not good, can cause that also. Mycotoxins, paralysis can cause that. Worm, internal worms, both the ectoparasite and endoparasite. The one, if they always scratch their body always, it can cause that also. Infection like sudden changes in their feed. If you change their feed suddenly and you didn't miss the former feed we were using, you just give them any feed with consumption, and at the same time can also cause egg deformity. These are the reasons why you have egg deformity. If you want to prevent them, provide all the necessary things you need. Provide good quality feed. Let there be good biosecurity. Provide a good organic medications. Let there be space them. Provide egg laying boxes for them, and don't delay egg collection. Always collect the egg at least 3 times in a day to make sure that you feed the egg laying boxes so that they will be able to. All this is are the things you need to put in practice. Always give them water, adequate water. Let there be feed rich nutrient. Vitamin and minerals should be rich in their feed. If possible, you can even supplement it at the same time for them to, for you to have a very good nutritional and balanced ration for them. Because why are they laying? They are laying because they are eating. And why are they eating? If they don't eat highly nutritious feed, they will not lay a very good egg for you. If there's lack of calcium, there's lack of potassium, there's lack of phosphorus, there's lack of magnesium, there's lack of iron, they're not going to produce a very good egg for you. All these are very necessary now. If you don't know, you have known it now. So you have to go now and start providing them for them. Let them give you a very good and a very viable egg. Please, if you have questions, you throw in your questions. I'm ready to grab them and I'll answer all your questions before we call it a day for today. Broiler and cockerel, which one is good for commercial purposes? Broiler and cockerel, which one is good for commercial purposes? Broiler chickens are crossbreed between broilers and local heritage birds. While cockerel are agri that they have different genetic formulation. They have different genetic makeup. So they are not all the same. So if you are going in for commercial meat, you have to go for cockerel. Because cockerel is majorly, for that is mixed, it cannot give you best meat, it cannot give you best egg. Because in egg laying capacity, you go for Asa Brown. Asa Brown will give you up to 300 and something eggs per year. While Broiler will give you 200 to 240 eggs in a year. You can see there's a very big gap there. And this Broiler will still eat all the day, grow faster, and they grow bigger than broilers at the same time. Broiler is a crossbreed. Therefore, if you're going for commercial meat production, the broiler is not best for you. Cockerel is best for you. Thank you. That question is asked. We will continue from there. Another one. What are the steps you can take to establish your own broiler parent stock? Many people are asking these questions. Broiler parent stock. One is select a suitable breed. Select a suitable breed. If you want to your own broiler parent stock, I will make out a time and treat this under poultry genetics. Under poultry genetics, I'm going to treat this as a separate topic, and on that day, I will make everything available to make sure that I treat it very well. But let me just brush it a brief, because somebody has asked the question already. One, select a suitable breed or suitable breeds. Combine different breeds, and at the same time, make your proper selection. Healthy foundation. Healthy foundation is very, very important. Use healthy birds. Proper housing is another good thing. These are the measures you take. Give them proper house because you're dealing with broilers and they're going to stay long. Parent stock doesn't stay. It's not something you rear for 2 months or 3 months. It's going to stay over 1 year or even a year and in your pen. So, and you're going to take good care of them. So it's very important. The feeding should be very adequate. You give them the normal feed supposed to take. Prepare their feed. You're not preparing broiler feed. You are preparing parent stock feed. Then genetic selection. Select the best gene, the genetic formation, the best ones that have a very good makeup that will give you what you need. Breeding management is very important. You have to have a very good knowledge of breeding management. The hatchery management is also very good. You need to have incubators, you need to have hatchery where you will also produce. Incubation is very important because you need to incubate the eggs for you to produce them at the same time. Rearing, you need to have an idea of how to raise the day-old chicks also. Health management, complete biosecurity, because parent stock needs a very strong biosecurity throughout the period of their, because if not, their eggs will not be fertile. You always have displacement in their egg. This is very necessary. The next topic is 10 tips or 10 reliable secrets to get a robust maximum weight broiler in 6 weeks. 10 reliable tips for you to get a robust maximum weight broiler in 6 weeks. If you want to go in for a very good broiler weight in 6 weeks, there are tips, results you need. Quality chick. In that roast 308, make sure you select the best chick. Don't select deformed chicks that will come and give you issues in your farm. Select the first grade. There's what we call first grade chicks. That's what you use for you to get that. Make sure you book directly from the hatchery, from the company. That will give you the best result. And that is nutrition. Provide adequate nutrition within the period of the 6 weeks. Give them the starter. Give them the start with the pre-starter, which is about 23 to 24% crude protein. Continue with the starter, which is about 21 to 23% crude protein. Continue with the finisher. You don't even need. There's no time for you to need anything like you don't have time for you to need finisher. This will give you what you need. Feeding management is another thing. Make sure you feed them ab little. Feed them in the night, feed them in the day. So there should be all-round feeding and provide light for them at night. Housing should be a very proper and superb one. There should be cross ventilation and the temperature should be properly regulated. They give them adequate water, adequate ventilation, and everything. And make sure you time your marketing very well and consult your poultry consultant or expert to guide you properly well throughout this period. If you have any question, you can send your question now. If you have any question, you can send your question now. I think I will be closing for today, hoping to continue, if possible, tomorrow. Bye.